Alright, so after over 2 weeks of not making a single Tycoon RNG video, and pretty much a week since I pretty much upload on the channel, today we've returned to the game because I've missed quite a bit of updates and I've sort of fallen a bit behind. But we're going to sort of play the catch-up game now, while in the process checking out all of these interesting little new features that have been added. Now, for starters, if it isn't obvious already, I am currently running a full wet build. I mean, literally from start to finish, it is fully 100% wet. Pause. But anyways, if you guys are aware of the Google Doc that I pretty much showed a couple of weeks ago that's from the Discord server, this is more or less how they explain to build the entire wet setup. So there's really nothing interesting going on here. I think the only thing that I did a little bit different is the fact that I do have a Dyson sphere at the end. And honestly, I wouldn't even recommend putting that there. The only reason that I do have it there is so that way occasionally this does bump up to about 300, 400 DD. But if I went ahead and removed it and put just a regular Billy there, I can consistently be earning about 50 to 60 DD without it ever dropping or pretty much going over that. As I say that, it goes into the 70s. All right, this is awkward. Either way, unfortunately, if you've been with the channel for a while, you'll know that I've pretty much made builds so far until this point that have actually earned me way more than this. So I kind of wanted to start off the video with me just fully using the build that I am capable of doing right now. Because again, going back to that Google Doc file, it shows over there that the recommended builds for a lot of people right now is going to be magnetic or wet. Mainly because these are the ones that are the easiest to obtain. It really doesn't take a lot of effort to be able to get a lot of these items, unlike some of the current meta builds, which would be glitch, vulnerable, as well as fueled. And unfortunately, because I have been gone for so long, I do fall into the category where I'm not really able to build any of those. I have gotten a couple of glitch stuff, but not really anything where I'm fully capable of building an entire layout of that. That doesn't mean that I have to settle for making pretty much this garbage amount that I'm making right now. I feel like I can definitely make a lot more if I sort of make another hybrid layout. So at some point here, we're probably going to go ahead and pause the recording, make a couple of changes inside of our layout. If for some reason you do have also these machines that I'm going to be putting down, you're free to follow along. But if you don't, it's also perfectly fine if you just go ahead and use the wet build, get as far as you can. I think right now I'm only like 4th prestige. I don't actually know how to check because I know that if you click here, it doesn't really tell you. Like, I'm ready to move on to the next prestige, but I also don't have 702 QDD. So I'm assuming the best way to tell is to see how many cards I have. And I currently have 4 of them, so I would be moving on to my 5th prestige. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm actually glad that I came over here because I really want to show this in a video. Maybe I'm losing my mind, or maybe it's just something is broken in the back end. Somebody please explain to me how this works. Right now, I have Angel of Fire equipped. All flaming ores get a 3.5 times multiplier when processed. If you notice up here, I'm earning between 60 all the way to sometimes as high as, let's say, 71 DD. Again, my entire build is a wet build. Just to confirm that, I'm going to come back over here and we're going to check out all of the ores. Look at how many wet are stacked up right here. At the end, we even have a Hand of Poseidon to really make the absolute most out of this. So I really just want to sit here and show you guys that wet is fully stacked up. So in theory, I have no flaming ores because when I think of flaming, I think of fire. Maybe it means something completely different and someone is going to correct me in the comments. But in my tiny little peanut-sized brain, it tells me that this is doing absolutely nothing for me. In theory, Neptune's Touch should be doing a lot more for me because all wet ores get a 2.3 times multiplier when processed. Again, look at how much I'm earning per second, but then when I switch to Neptune's Touch, it just drops. Like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Shouldn't I be earning 2.3 times more? How is it possible that I am earning more with a fire relic than I am with a wet relic? We have now officially dropped to almost 30 DD per second. We're literally at 30 DD now. It's about to be in a second here because I know for sure that it usually drops to about 35 and then peaks to about 42 DD. That makes absolutely no sense to me. So please, if you have an answer, let me know in the comments. Explain it to me like I'm stupid because clearly I am. Oh, we got something of a mill. What did we get? Okay, sick animation. Glass shatters in the distance. You feel as if you've aged a decade. Hourglass. Okay. Not as exciting as I thought. Anyways, so yeah, somebody please explain this to me. I don't understand. I'm going back to Angel of Fire. You're going to notice that everything is going to start increasing again. We're going to be back at 60. Don't get it. It is what it is. We're moving on from this. Now, besides this interesting mailbox that was added here most recently since I've been gone, which is really just to invite your friends, this incredible tree house was added, which is actually pretty cool. If you're standing inside of this actual green trimming, you get some sort of a luck boost. And obviously, if you're hanging out in a public server, the more people that are inside of here, the higher the luck boost gets. So this is actually a really good addition. I've actually gotten some pretty good results in here with just like 1 or 2 other people. So I am definitely really happy to see that this was added to the game. Not really much to say besides that, but I did sort of want to go ahead and squeeze it into the video because I did see one of you comment on my video asking me to sort of explain this, but I don't really know how much more I could explain than just telling you to stand inside the green and you get more luck. So now that we're back to earning 60 DD with our fire relic in our wet build, go figure, let's go ahead and make some adjustments here and see if we can at least bump this up to a couple of 100 DD or maybe even better than that. So again, I'll be right back. All right, so after making a couple of adjustments, now we're averaging between 9.10 TDD all the way to as high as 10 TDD occasionally. It still isn't really exactly where I want it to be. I definitely want to be making way more than this, especially since the price of my next prestige is 702 QDD, meaning at the current rate, it'll probably take me, I don't even know, dude. I want to say like 48 hours to be able to actually prestige 6 or sorry, prestige 5. But let me give you guys the quick rundown on everything that I pretty much changed. It's still very much a water build, but it's kind of now like a 50% water, 50% fire, which is kind of odd, but I'm going to explain to you why I sort of took this path. Now, starting up here on the very top, it is still basically every single one of them are wet droppers. More specifically, the Gutation Dripper. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. The only thing that was changed up here is the fact that there isn't a Billy at the very start. Instead, there is a Heavenly Ruins. Reason for this is because Heavenly Ruins Overclock Negative is my highest upgrader that I own. It is a 1 in 28.5 million drop chance with a 434.35 times multiplier. And honestly, I figured what better place to put in than at the very start to get rid of that acid vulnerable. And then immediately after that, we start basically with all of the wets. So as you can see here, we got ourselves an abyssal chain. Let's move on to floor number 2. Again, this is all basically still wet, and basically all of the items that I have, which still have pretty decent multipliers, but are also adding wet. So we have abyssal chains, one of my Billy fish tanks, and then 2 perfect lawns. Now, this is where things start to get a little messy, and I don't even know how it works out, but I'm going to explain how it makes sense in my head. So if you notice, when everything is dropping down here, it already has a pretty fat stack of wet. And one of the other items that I have, which has a high multiplier, is my extreme heats. I don't know why, but it seems like every single time that I roll anything that is a high number, like anything over 1 mil, it seems to be a fire item. So I tend to have a lot of these, and unfortunately, fire builds are just really not all that great. Either way, because of the fact that it does have so many stacks of wet, when it goes through the extreme heat, it only really removes one of the stacks of wet, and it doesn't actually get on fire. Shortly after that, it will go through an abyssal chains because, again, this is just another item that I have a high multi of. After that, it travels through another high multi item being Heavenly Ruins again. Then it goes through extreme heat, which I'm sure you're getting the idea here, just another high multi. Downside is that it does remove another stack of wet. Then it goes through a steam engine, which adds fuel to another extreme heat, which removes another stack of wet. And then it goes through the Metro Punk Clockwork. This one adds another 3 fuel, destroys 45% of the ores, but it also adds magnetic vulnerable as well as aired. Now, the last portion of this is, well, pretty much the last 2 portions of this are not beneficial to me in any type of way. Really, the only reason that this is down is because of the high multi as well as the adds fueled. Because right after that, we're going to have a Steampunk Overdrive, which does an extra 1.12 times multiplier for each fueled, and it has a decent multiplier of 188.50. To finish it off, again, another high multi item just because I'm sure you're getting the picture here, but yes, I pretty much have only gotten lucky with Heavenly Ruins. And then we finish it off with a Mystic Forge to go ahead and make the most out of, oh, look, an error. Wow, that was like an ADHD moment. Like I was saying, then we ended off with a Mystic Forge, which gives an extra 1.5 times multiplier if wet to sort of make the most out of all the wet that we pretty much use in the entire layout. Now, ideally, my highest one is a Void Shrine, which is a 1 in 35.6 million. This one has a multiplier of 281.87. Problem is that it mostly is for fire and acidic, so this is going to really help me out in any type of way. I would only be gaining the actual multiplier. Once I checked out the income, it didn't really make that much sense. It made more sense to have down the Mystic Forge. And before any of you ask, no, the Hand of Poseidon is not better in this situation. It actually drops it down to about 3 or 4 TDD, which is kind of insane. So yeah, man, it's a slow process. It definitely is. But of course, with all of these changes that have been made, and also the fact that I have sort of been gone for the last 2 weeks from the game, you can blame that on Bee Swarm Simulator. I have been playing a lot of that. I unfortunately do not have the best machine items at the current moment. I'm gonna have to go ahead and AFK this a lot so I can get some more of those glitch items and stuff like that. So maybe we can do a glitch build. I know that that's sort of like the major meta right now. I have a couple of the items, but not really a lot of them. For example, here I have simulation error. I also have up here, I believe it's I think it's a dropper. I'm not sure though. I think it's called like anomaly. Okay, maybe it's not a dropper. Wait, what is it? Is it an upgrader? Anomaly? Am I spelling this right? Okay, I'm obviously just dumb. I was spelling it wrong. So I have a couple of the digital anomalies, but most definitely nowhere near enough what I need. I might sort of play around with this and see if maybe I can incorporate it into my current build, since nothing is really like gonna affect it. And it should technically run completely smooth through the entire layout. But I have a strong feeling that I'm still going to need a lot more items to really make the most out of that. So I guess right now, this is what I'm going to be working with. I'm going to keep on the grind, trying to drop some more items here so that way I'm able to go ahead and make a better build for you guys and bring you guys a video. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, man. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of Bee Swarm Sim. I wanted to make a video on that, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm very knowledgeable over there. Instead, I would sort of just be sharing with you guys my progress in the game, which I guess is a few years behind everybody else. I really only have like 46 bees over there. Probably not the place to talk about it, but again, let's chat in the comments. Either way, that's gonna do it for this one. Like always, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.